Tonight, we continue our coverage of bridging the great health divide with newborn screenings. Last night, we told you where you live determines the number of tests your baby gets. There appears to be a big gap here in the Ozarks between Missouri and Arkansas. Here's On Your Side reporter Ashley Reynolds.
It's nice to finally have a boy. I love my girls, but it is a different experience for me for sure.
Little Theoden is just 10 days old.
It's still, I don't know, for me, I'm always just like, don't break them, you know.
Olive Christie and Kane Schroeder's children were born in a Missouri hospital. They got the heel prick. Results were normal.
Especially if there's something wrong with your child, it's good to know.
The tests look for certain conditions that might not be obvious to the eye. A few you might recognize, like cystic fibrosis or sickle cell anemia, but many are so rare they impact just a handful or a few hundred children nationwide, but could have life-altering or deadly consequences.
So these tests are critical.
Absolutely.
Mercy pediatrician Robert Gardner says early detection gives babies and parents more time.
They let us know whether or not these babies are at risk for these severe disabilities and death, and so if we can catch them early, then we can help them have a longer, happier, healthier life in many cases.
The Recommended Uniform Screening Panel, or RUSP, is an ever-expanding list of conditions created by a federal committee. Right now, the panel recommends children get tested for 37 conditions. As we first told you last night, each state decides which screenings. It creates disparities from state to state. No state does all 37, but Missouri is close. 36. Many states require tests that are not on that federal list, which yields an even bigger gap. Look, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Missouri babies are screened for a total of 63 conditions. In Arkansas, it says 33, but state officials tell me it's now 35.
There is some unfairness to the fact that some babies they may be missed.
That's kind of scary. Because what if their child has something wrong with them and they didn't get tested for it?
But here's the thing, because each state does its own testing, the way conditions are counted might be different.
They may look at a state and go, well, you're screening for 70, obviously you're the best, and you're screening for 30, you're terrible. But they may be screening for exactly the same thing.
For example, in Arkansas, the hemoglobin disorder screening covers 3 types, but it's counted as one test. Whereas in Missouri, it covers nearly a dozen types, and each is counted as a separate test.
Doctors we talked to want that to change.
I hope that we can use that to help continue to advocate for expanded universal screening for all babies born in our country.
Yeah, you don't think about things like screening regulations and differences and things like that. You just go through with like, I want my child to be healthy. I'd like everybody to have that feeling.
If you're a parent in Arkansas watching this report and wondering what you can do to better protect your baby, well, doctors tell me this is just another reason to make sure you follow up with those regular appointments with your child's pediatrician. That way they can continue to monitor their growth. Now, many of these conditions are hereditary, so if there's a disease in your family, be your child's advocate and ask how they can